Hello, 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 everybody. It is your baby boomer Kitty Lane from the peninsula in Virginia, back with another Create and Relate. Come on in the den. How is everyone today? I know I'm a few minutes early, so I'm going to give y'all time to pleather in, feather in, slither in, salt and pepper in. Oh my goodness. I'm going to go ahead on and get the logistics out of the way so that when we do get here, it'll be all about crocheting. So, guys, we're at 4:30. Excuse me, 4:32. We have 432 subscribers, and we're inching up on 1,600 viewing hours. We're getting closer. We are getting closer, guys. And I want to thank each and every one of you. I ask you when you come in the room, please make sure that you hit that little thumbie. And if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. Make sure when you see that notification bell, you hit the one with the dimples so that you'll always know when I'm dropping fresh new content. So, once again, how is everyone? I know some of you are probably not going to get here until 12. So, what I'm doing right now for you replay warriors is I'm building a foundation row of what I'm going to show y'all today. And for those of you who are not comfortable doing the foundation row, what you're going to do is whatever hook size you're comfortable with, we're going to be making a cowl. So, whatever hook size you're comfortable with, and however loose you want to make your cowl, you're going to use multiples of three. Now, if you're using the foundation row, you're going to keep it at the multiples of three. If you're not comfortable with the foundation row, then you're going to chain using the multiples of three. And forgive me, y'all. And you're going to do half double crochet back across that chain. I'm not really fast at doing the foundation row, but I like it so much better than the other. So right now I'm at 3, 6, 9, 12, 14. I am at 14 half double crochets. And this is 15. What I am using is the regular Big Twist 4 worsted weight in the colorway of grape. It is a partial skein as I'm only showing you a part of this. I'm going to do a small one so that you all can get the gist of what's going on. And I may go back later and make a big one. I don't know. I've already made one, and I was so impressed with how it turned out that I told my daughter, I said, I want to show everybody how to make it. Yeah, so this is the one that I showed you all last week. I just didn't really sit down and do it with y'all. I don't think. Y'all, please forgive me today. I'm asking you to have grace with me. I don't feel well. I don't feel well at all. So why did I jump on the live? Because I'm here at home alone and I feel like somebody needs to have eyes on me. I woke up feeling great, and then all of a sudden I had a really bad case of feeling nauseated. It was just the feeling, and it went from that to vertigo. So that's where I am right now. And I'm not drinking coffee. I have eaten, not drinking anything but water right now. I don't think it's a coffee withdrawal because I had coffee yesterday. It was kind of late yesterday, too. So 6, 8, 10, 12. What am I doing? 3, 6, 12, 15, 18, 21. Whew, okay. So I'm going to do 3 more. Now, when you make your foundation roll, you're going to connect it on the last stitch. So I'm coming up on stitch 24. And I'm going to do it just like I'm doing a regular foundation, but I'm going to go back to the beginning. I'm not going to complete it. And I'm going to go into the bottom of that first stitch, pull through the bottom and pull through that chain. And then I'm going to complete that half double crochet and connect to the top with a slip stitch. Pull my stitch a little tight, chain 1, and then I'm going to build my half double crochet with my stackable singles. Skip the first half double crochet and double crochet in the next one. Then I'm going to come back to the one I skipped. So I'm making an X. It's just a cross. And that's how it looks. And then we're going to double crochet in the next available half double crochet, and then you're going to make another X. And this is the pattern that you're going to repeat all the way around. Don't forget, after you do your X, to do your half double crochet. So how is everyone doing today? What's on your hook? What's in your cup? Tell me all the things. How has your week been? Y'all, I still can't find my 6.5. I'm making a little baby cow, sis. I'm actually making it for Umpa's Moana. She has a life-size Moana that I have commandeered from her because she wasn't taking care of it. And it was the last Christmas gift my mom was able to give to Oompa, and I didn't want it messed up more than it already was. So I have the Moana. Okay, once you complete that row, you're going to connect with the slip stitch in the top of that first double crochet that you made. Okay, there we go. Pull that stitch kind of tight, chain 1. And now we're going to do the stackable singles to create another double crochet, and then we're putting another double crochet right back into that same stitch. And now you're going to back post double crochet around the cross that you made. Okay. And then you're going to go right into the next stitch, which is right over top of that double crochet that you did. And you're going to put 2 double crochets and then back post around the cross. And that's the pattern for this row. 2 double crochets, back post double crochet. 2 double crochets in the same stitch, back post double crochet around the X. I know some are probably asking, why am I using such a big hook? I always see cows as being really, really drapey. And of course, the larger hook you use for your material, the more buoyancy you have, or the more flow. My granddaughter says it's wimpy. I love the brains of children. Could that be done? Okay, I don't have it on my TV. I need to put that on the TV so I can read it. It can be. It can be. Um, it can be a blanket. It's just a 2-row repeat. You just want to make sure you do 2 double crochets into the same stitch, and then you back post double crochet around your cross. The row below that you set up, or not even a setup row, but the first row of that would be the double crochet and the cross. And you just do that all the way around. And then the 2 double crochets in the above the post and the back post double crochet around the cross. And then when you complete that, what I would suggest if you're making a hat is make your next row, especially when you start your decrease, make that your half double crochet row or round. And that way you can put your decrease in that round. But for right now, this is the cow. And I would do one more because it's only for Moana. Okay, cool. I'm going to start bringing the cow to an end. And what that entails is going back to the first of the repeat rounds, which is my single post and my X all the way around. And that way the pattern will be even on both sides. Mm. So here lately, I've been a little overwhelmed with the yarn that I have. Y'all, the yarn is outrageous. I had my grandson to bring the 6 containers of yarn that I had in my bathroom out of my bathroom. Um, I have yarn in my room, in my closet, and in my bathroom. Well, no more in my bathroom. We took care of that yesterday. We got that out. And it led me to start a scrap blanket running 4 strands together. These are the containers. I had 6 of these full of yarn. I got that down to 4 by doing this. This is running 4 strands together. Started out in a circle, built it out into a square. And at the moment, I think I'm at 25 inches. I want it to be about 50 inches around. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it over to the fence beside the apartment and just lay it on the fence. And it'll be going to hopefully one of the members of the homeless community. It's starting to get cold here. So that's my contribution. One of the things that I wanted to share with you all today was going back to my roots. I love making blankets. The very first thing I made when I started crocheting was a poncho and a tam hat. And even though I enjoyed those things, when I got to the point where I started making blankets, I was probably a teenager by then when I made my first ripple stitch afghan. And it's going to be very warm, Joan. It's going to be super warm. But making that afghan, excuse me, woke something up in me and made me become a little more serious about crocheting. When I was my freshman year in college, um, from all the gift money that I was given from graduating, I had a right sizable little chunk of change. And I went to Sears and I bought, y'all, I bought so much red heart yarn. It was unreal. I came back with bags and bags and bags of yarn. And my roommates, I had 2 roommates, 3 of us in the room. They were so disgusted that I had so much yarn in the room, but I was making everybody blankets. I started with my roommates, and then I started with the next door neighbor, and then the young lady across the hall. And, it ended up I was making everybody on the floor blankets. And then I spread it out to other people in the building. We had 3 floors, no elevator, and I had broken my toe. Y'all, I broke my toe when I was in college. I fell down the stairs the day that we were moving in. Clumsy, yes, I am. I'm clumsy. But I fell down the stairs and broke my toe. So most of my classes, um, we didn't have anything like remote classes or anything. So most of them, like my roommate would go get the information for me and bring it back to me. And I do whatever paperwork I had to do when it came to like my physical education. Of course, as long as I had the doctor's note and I was on crutches, I couldn't participate. But boy, when I got off the crutches, that woman worked the daylights out of me. Yes, she did. They tried to get me to join the softball team. I wouldn't because of her. Like, no, you're the coach. No. I thought my mama was hard on me. My mama was my basketball coach. She was the assistant track coach. And if y'all remember, I threw the shot and the discus. So she was my coach there. She was my basketball coach. I played interim basketball. She was my coach. And with my mom, you didn't just go out there and perform. You had to warm up. You had to practice. We had tryouts, all that good stuff. Yeah, you didn't just say you wanted to be on the team and you were on the team. Not with my mama. And I thought she was rough. This woman that I had in college, oh my goodness. I loved my mama even more. I don't remember that lady's name, guys. I can remember my sixth grade PE teacher's name, Miss Dixon. I can remember that, but I do not remember my college physical education professor's name. Mm-mm, I don't remember. I remember what she looked like, but I don't remember her name. Yeah. I have to call them back. Oh my goodness. You tell people, I go live at such and such a time, and they pick that time to call. And it's usually your kids. It's usually your kids. So this is the little cow that I made for the Moana. And it's just big enough to go over her head, believe it or not. And this is what the real cow looks like. So yes, it is such a thing. Okay, so there we are. And for everybody who's coming in, yes, I did get here a little early today because I'm going to be leaving a little early. And I wanted to make sure I covered everything I had to talk to you all about. So, one of the things I wanted to tell you all is that I am going back to my roots of doing blankets. If you notice today, I um, posted a poll, and I would like for everybody to participate in that poll because one of the things that I want to do, I had talked to you all before about a temperature blanket. Well, I have some more ideas as far as blankets are concerned. Um, as much as I don't care for, I am willing to commit to granny square blankets. There is a book that I've been looking at on from that place. I'm sorry, that I've been looking at from Amazon. Less than $8. If you're a Prime member, of course, you get free delivery. And most likely you can get next day delivery. But I think it's like $7.81. I wouldn't get one of the used ones because all of those cost more. Plus you pay shipping, whether you're a Prime member or not. I think the cheapest one of those was like $8.90, and the person wanted like $4 shipping and handling. And I'm like, but you can get the book for under $8, no shipping and handling. No shipping and handling. Brand new and it's yours. Okay. But what I will do, if I get enough feedback, I will post the link to that. I am not an Amazon affiliate. There are a lot of us out there who are. So if you feel really, really nice and gracious, go to one of their pages, click on their Amazon link. That way they get a few pennies from the sale. But like I said, I will post the link to the project as well so that you'll know what you're looking for. Um, the other thing is I have somebody coming on Sunday who's going to be working with me one on one as far as my editing techniques and things like that. So hopefully, what has happened this week that happened with Canva early in the week will not be happening again. I had recorded videos, edited them, and as I was trying to upload them to YouTube on my birthday, which was Tuesday, nothing was going through and it kept knocking my phone offline. So a lot of phone calls that I thought I might have been getting on Tuesday, I was not getting because my phone wasn't online. And I didn't find out until Tuesday evening when my daughter tried to call, my daughter and her fiance, and they came and like, Mom, we've been trying to call you all day. And when I tried to call back to show that I had not had any calls, I realized it wasn't allowing me to call out. And it said that my phone was offline. I was like, wow, are you serious? So then I turned it off, restarted it, all that good stuff. And when I went to try to upload the video again, I realized at that point, and this is like 8 or 9 o'clock at night now, I realized that that's what was knocking my phone offline. So after like the seventh try, I stopped. And I say specifically seventh because all of a sudden last night I looked up and each of the attempts showed up in my photos. I was like, are you serious right now? Is this the game we're playing? So I went ahead on and posted that video. I know some of you have seen it. Thank you so much. And for you guys who have been giving me the viewing hours, yeah, I told y'all I check comments. I do. I go back and I look at those comments, maybe not as frequently as I should, but I do go back and check them frequently. So you have hearts, you have thank yous. I so appreciate each and every one of you. I really, really, really do. My heart is just like, and right now it's fluttering anyway. It has been for like the past hour. I don't know what's going on, guys. But like I said, I popped on early because I felt like I needed eyes on me. And I know you all make me happy when I come in here. So that's another thing. I needed you all to help calm me down. Calm me down. Okay, so we got the video out. The structure of the channel as of right now, I'm going to say how I want it to be. On Sundays, you'll be getting a word of the week, an affirming word of the week, which will be your weekly affirmation, and you'll be getting an ASL phrase. I did the phrase on Tuesday. I also did 3 words. So the way it's going to be going, I'm going to do the phrase and the um, aspiring word on Sunday. On Monday, I will be giving you a few words of ASL. I will also be giving you 15 minutes of organizational tips, little things that you can do to organize. And it might not be a whole 15 minutes, but you'll get a video. You'll get 2 videos on Sunday, 2 on Monday. We will be live on Tuesdays. That'll be Tuesday of W's. That will be the day that, of course, we'll talk about Wet My Whistle, and we'll be doing the weekly whips and the weekly FOs. So you'll get to see what I'm working on and what I've done. You'll get to see what I'm working on actually twice. I mean, specifically see what I'm working on twice during the week. But Tuesday is the day because that's also Taco Tuesday. So I'll be finishing up whatever I participated in Taco Tuesday from the week before or whatever I've started during that week. And I'll be presenting that on Tuesdays. We'll also go over the words and phrases of the ASL, and then, of course, the whatnots, whatever we have to talk about or to bring everybody up to speed. On Wednesdays, you can be looking for a video of 15 minutes to an hour of Crochet with Kitty. That's just to sit back, kick back, relax, crochet, just watch, do diamond art, coloring, whatever it is that you do, is just having somebody there with you to go through this. Not a whole lot of conversation. There may be a little bit. I think I forgot this time I had the TV on and I was looking at the history of Nathaniel Turner. And I think at one point my daughter came in the room and had a loud noise or something. But it wasn't a whole lot of talking, but it was a little, just a little bit, just to let you know somebody's here with you. Put it on your TV, look at it on big screen, and you got somebody crocheting with you. And then again on Thursdays, it's our C day in the live, and that's the come on in, a couple what? I'll chit chat, and of course I'll be crocheting with you. Um, I also want this to be curiosities, and what I mean by that is I want it to be a question answer session. So any questions that you all have for me, please, by all means, if you have my number, text it to me. Other than that, in my description, in my main description, is my email address. Email me. You can always go to the community post page and send me questions. I have Facebook, Create and Relate. Drop the question there. I'm also on Instagram, Create and Relate. Drop the question there. Whatever questions you have, I'll gather them through the week and we'll talk about it on Thursdays under Curiosities. On Fridays, I'm hoping to put out some sort of tutorial. It may be a complete tutorial, depending on how long the video is. I don't want to take up your day because I know that weekends are really, really like crowded on the YouTube streets. So instead of doing a live tutorial, I'm putting it out there in video form so you can go back and look at it whenever you have the time. But for me to have that structure to follow, I want to get those out there on Friday, which means I'll be recording them earlier in the week. Now, Saturday is the big day. That's the S day. That is, of course, salutations and sips, setup and so and so's. Setup is letting you know everything. It's like wrapping up the week before and letting you know what to look forward in the coming week. If there are any changes that I know about, I will let you know then on Saturdays. I will be pulling out basically whips or telling you the intentions of things that will be started. You saw the blanket that I started last night. This one I decided to call chocolate candy because of my choices of blacks and browns. I had to find some more of the baby rainbow yarn, which is why it was at a standstill. And of course, and I knew I had more. I knew I had more, but I had to just stop and breathe and find it. So I will be working on that. You probably, you might or might not see that Saturday. I don't know. If I finish it, you won't see it Saturday. If I'm not finished with it, you will. I know you won't see this Saturday because this is going to be finished today. All of this was done in about 2 hours last night. It's very, very, very thick. It's like rug thick. But these people are sleeping outside. And the warmth of them is what I had in mind. And I want them to be able to cover up and snuggle up, under this or put it underneath them and it serve as a barrier between them and the ground. That's what I had in mind when I made these. Some of them have sleeping bags, some of them don't. Those that have sleeping bags, they can put these under the bottom of them, inside the sleeping bag, and that'll be added protection between them and the ground. I'm very, very, I feel a closeness to the homeless community because I was homeless once, and I know how it is out there. I know how hard it is. Joan, I will be happy. You know what? I will probably make that um, the two. I don't know because that's due tomorrow, and I haven't done the tutorial yet. I'm going to see what I can do about making that happen tonight because in me creating that, something else happened. Like I said, we downsized a lot of these. And what I noticed in downsizing is that I had a lot of pinks and reds and a lot of greens. So this is going to be, I'm going to make another one of those running 4 strands. And this is going to be my next colorway. So it's going to have pretty much a color theme. Um, these are the 4 strands that I'm running right now. I have what I call Neapolitan ice cream, gray, black, and navy blue. And these are going to be the rest of the colors to pull from in that. We got red and yellow, a smidgen of peach, brown, black, and yellow. More yellow, dark yellow, light yellow, and a little bit of blue in there. So that's going to go to finishing this out. And of course, that will be done today. What I'm using for that is my number 10 hook, Susan Bates, which is an N. Yeah, I'm not a fan of pink. I'm not a fan of pink. Like I said, my mama got me out of that when I was a little girl. I loved pink. And she asked me what color I wanted my room. And I told her pink. I didn't say hot pink, but my mama painted my room hot pink. Hmm. But I think it's a lot more than that that made me not like pink. Bad things happened to me in that room. But yeah, I have, like I said, this an amazing, not attraction, but um, sympathetic heart for the homeless. Um, when I lived in Portsmouth, when I worked at Dollar General, every payday I would buy 10 of the Dollar General bags. I don't have one close by, but you know, like the Walmart bags, the kind of small, the Dollar General bags like this, about this size. And I would get bar soap, body wash, powder, lotion, um, washcloths, socks, undershirts, gloves, paper towel, toilet paper, cutlery, do cans of like sardines and potted meat Vienna sausages, packages of crackers, different types of nabs and chips and things, and put them in the bags. Served as two purposes. It served as something to give to them, to let them know that somebody cared. That was the biggest thing. But what I realized also is that it significantly reduced the theft in our store. Um, they would come in the door once you pass out a few of those bags, and they go tell others. Of course, they start peppering in, and you give them those bags, and many of them are so appreciative. Working at Dollar General, I got to see when things were pennied out. So when we had clothing that were pennied out, I try to buy them all up, and I, divvy them up in bags. Members of my poetry community got together and helped me out a bunch. And one particular young lady and I got together and packed bags. She got places to donate things like toothbrushes and toothpaste, little first aid kits, coupons, gift cards, all kinds of things. She got them to donate, and we, put them in all of these bags. I think we were able to pack. I think we packed and distributed like 117 bags. So, with their help, it worked. They had some scrubs that had been pennied out, and it was so great to have someone else with me when this particular thing happened, because then they were able to see the impact that they made in the homeless community. I was giving out bags, and one young lady hunted us down. She chased us down And we stopped and turned around, and she was like, "Thank you so much. You have no idea what you just did." She said, "I have a job interview tomorrow, and I needed scrubs. And the things that had pennied out were scrubs. So, in about 12 of those bags, we had, complete sets of scrubs." And she says, "It's not the right size." I said, "Well, they're kind of circulating around. And I know in the homeless community, you barter things, so maybe you can size up or size down." I saw her again a couple of weeks later. And of course, my companion, my poetry buddy was not with me, but I was able to tell them about it. She came in the store, she got the job. When she told other people in the homeless community about her getting the job, she didn't have to barter anything, because they just went ahead on and gave her the scrubs that they had. So she ended up with just about, I think she got the bag that had the smalls in it. The rest of them were large and extra large, and she needed the large. So the rest of them just got together and gave her the scrubs that they had. So she had plenty of scrubs, and that made me feel good. Sometimes we would have like shoes that pennied out, tennis shoes and slides and bedroom shoes and things, and they would penny out. And what I mean by that is that it's like absolutely last sale before we had to throw things away. And we put everything in this basket. It had the yellow dot on it, which means that when you got ready to ring it up, it rang up for a penny. Literally rang up for a penny. Yeah. So that was a positive outcome. So that's why I do things like make the blankets and hang them over on the fence. They have a place here in Hampton where they try to encourage the homeless people to go, but I also know how that is. If you don't get to these facilities by a certain time, usually when you get there before time, there's a long line that you have to stand in. You can't secure a place in advance. You have to be there in person. And the homeless community is so large. The place has like maybe 50 beds, but you're looking at almost 1,000 people that are homeless. So most of them don't even bother to waste their time to go there. They build little communities like what's on the other side of the fence here. If you look over there, you'll see the tents, you know, about 2/3 a mile down the street is another community of them. And then about a quarter of a mile past that is another community of them. And, it's when it's the summertime, you kind of look at it different, but it's just as dangerous out there in the summertime. About what fact are you about what fact? The fact that there are many more homeless than there is places for them to go? It's 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 crazy because in Portsmouth we had the Oasis, we had the YMCA, we had the Heritage House. They had there were several churches. I think they had probably about. I'm going to be gracious and say they had 12 places that they could go. But like the Oasis only had 10 beds. The Baptist church around the big, I think it was Trinity Baptist Church, only had 22 beds. So when you have in downtown Portsmouth, you literally have thousands of people who are homeless. I mean, thousands upon thousands. And when you look at the fact that these two places have 32 beds between them, and all together, when you put all of it together, I think we came up with a figure of, I think it was 100. I know it was over 100, but it was less than 150 when you put all of these places together with their beds. So it's a little more than 10 beds per, place, or averaging it out. And there was one place that only had 8 beds. There was another place where it was a house, but they were offering up a room and they had 4 beds in that room that had to be shared. But it was a first come, first served basis every day. So you have a lot of people that are sleeping in cars that people don't even consider homeless because at least they have their cars. I live across the street from a shopping center, and at night, starting about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, there's a section of that parking lot that starts filling up. And when I go that way to go to doctors, I'm weaving through these cars and vans and trucks that are serving as shelter for homeless people. And sometimes when I go that way, I'll take a blanket and lay it on the car, lay it across the bed of the truck, lay it on the hood of the van, or whatever, because they can't run their motors all night long. That's not healthy. They won't survive that. And then it's too cold to not have something going or to not be protected. So yeah. And you're right. It doesn't mean that they're making poor choices. Sometimes you're in a situation that I tell people I was homeless by choice. Yes, I was. But I had to do what was best for me. I was 27, 28 years old, 27. I was 27 years old. I had 3 living children. I had already lost one to SIDS. And I had to be in by 11 o'clock. The straw that broke the camel's back for me was the night that I was scheduled to work until 12, and I got locked out of the house. Hey, my Michelle. Oh, there you go. But yeah, that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. And I'm like, how can I stay in this situation? I knew my kids would be safe and taken care of there. So and I made my way there every day. So when they got off the bus, they would see their mom and they got their afternoon snacks, and I'd go over homework with them and do hair and all that good stuff. And then I'd get in my car and I'd go find a place to park so I could sleep, and didn't have to worry about being locked out. I had a job while I was homeless, you know, and I still had to fight the streets. There's certain things that, you have to do to protect yourself. You can't stay in one spot too long because it's risky. It's risky. It's doubly worse for a woman out there. Too many times I had to say, it's my time of the month every day because they don't bother you during that time. You don't have to worry about the big R happening to you. That's one of the things that they will respect. But outside of that, you're prey. And all you're trying to do is sleep and save up your little duckies so that you can get a place for you and your kids and set your own rules, have your own set of rules. And fortunately, I was able to leave the job that I had and I got a job at the hospital. And I worked overnight at the hospital. The nurses knew that I was homeless and they would let me sleep in one of the rooms I was cleaning. But I had to get up in time the next morning. So when the big people came, I was out of the room. So they would get me up between 5:45 and 6 o'clock. I'd, reclean the room, and then I would make my way downstairs to clock out and go back to my car and find somewhere to sit for a couple hours until CC's Pizza opened. And I would go in for my little $5. That's right, what Bob was arguing with the paper. People do not make a living wage. So they exactly. And that's the problem here in Hampton where I live. A lot of these, especially those that park over in the parking lot, they're working. They have jobs, but Like where I live, if you're coming out here, if you haven't already been out here, you're coming into the rent of a two-bedroom apartment being $2,200 a month. People are not making that. And then you have water, you have electricity, you have to have internet connection just for your phone to work inside your apartment. These are things that you have to have. And that's nothing extra. But I mean, how are you supposed to eat? And even if you bring your own, they have a laundry facility here. We have 120 units out here. They have two washers and two dryers. And it's $2.75 to wash a load of clothes and $2.75 to dry a load of clothes. So you almost have to rent the washer dryer, which is $35 a month. So it's not always because people can't do better or don't want to do better, or this is just a decision that they made. Sometimes they're forced into these situations. Like I said, I complain because our rent goes up every year. Last year it was 1522. Um we got the notification that it's going up to 1550. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but when we first moved here, it was 1172. That $400 over this 5-year period, we feel it. We feel it. No, it doesn't sound like a whole lot. It really doesn't. But then you add the utility taxes to it. The fact that there are four of us in here that have to eat, and transportation back and forth to work. Whether you have a car or not, you still have to keep that car up to date. And here in the state of Virginia, this is a Commonwealth state. When you buy a vehicle here, you pay taxes on the vehicle that you bought. And then you get the tags and the registration, which is a flat rate of $875. Well, they tax that too. Okay. And then your information goes to the Department of Taxation. So every year you get this personal property tax bill. And guess what? That $100 that you're paying when you first get your car, you end up paying like $112 on it because they add tax to that. So we're paying taxes on taxes on taxes on taxes here just to live. And it's a bit much. Okay, so why don't you move? Fine, give us the funds. Make it happen for us. Because just about anywhere you go, you have to have last month's rent. Some places, last month's rent, first month's rent, and deposit. But a lot of places are deposit and first month's rent. And either way, that's a strain. And then the cost of moving, you have to secure the vehicle to move. If you're like me, handicapped, you can't get all of this stuff together yourself. It's best to get hire a moving service. That's got to be done. Well, if you get something like a pod, you got to pay for that, and then to have it shipped to wherever it is you're going, and then somebody to come in and help you get this stuff inside the place. You can get it straightened out once you get it in there, but it's a lot of heavy lifting in and out that I can't do. I can't when we run into situations financially and I fear that we may have to leave. It is so stressful for me that I almost shut down because I fear that I will not survive another move. I don't even have the option of being homeless. I do not feel like I will survive another move because people are not, nobody's going to give you anything. And I mean, even if I were to hit the lottery right now, the only way I could move right now is that I go secure the place, somebody take me a bed over there, Somebody have somebody over there, or the nurses that I need, that I've been approved for and don't have yet. So yes, Joan, that's the medical side of it. What are you supposed to do? So all of that would have to be there before I got there. And then I would have to be in a position to direct people as to where to put things. When I go in the kitchen to wash dishes now, 9 times out of 10, I'm sitting on a bar stool. Last night I cooked for me and my granddaughter, but I had to sit at the stove in a bar chair just to cook eggs and bologna. So it's easy to angle your perspective from a healthy, wealthy standpoint, not fully understanding the full scope of things. So it's not always laziness or up to uh, the individual, if they had made different moves or made better decisions. You look at why we're here in an apartment to begin with. We had a house. We had a 3-bedroom house. And the executor of the estate sold the house out from under us, put us over here in these expensive apartments. When at the time, I was waiting for disability, so only one person had income. And they had children, a single mother with children, having to come in and put the responsibilities of a $1,200 night, $1,200 just for the rent, 1172, and then the water bill added, which was like I guess it to be around $60. It fluctuates. Bob's brother has never had to struggle in life and feels into being a business owner. And fell into being a business owner. Okay, but even still, that's what I'm saying. If they have not walked that walk or have not had something happen to them, like like I said, we had a house. Our monthly expenses were less than the rent coming here. And that was personal property taxes. Yeah, we have to pay personal property tax on everything. Personal property taxes, insurance, and we had more utility bills. We had the electric bill. We had, excuse me, the water and sewage. We had the gas bill. We had a telephone bill. We had a cable bill. They had the Wi-Fi, excuse me, attached to it. Wi-Fi is everywhere you go now. You can't even get decent phone service unless you're paying for fiber optics through some company. So, we had all of that, and then we had the homeowners. The it was in addition to the homeowners insurance, but it insured everything that we had inside. I had a car. I worked outside of the city where I lived. So I had to make sure the maintenance of the car stayed up. I had to make sure there was gas in the car. I had insurance to pay on the car every month. And that was our only mode of transportation. So like when we had to go to the doctor, when the kids had to go to the doctor, our car was the only way to get them there. Or catch a city bus. Well, that's not free. You have to pay for that too. Or get a lift. That's not free. You have to pay for that too. Everything came with a price. Nothing was given us. I mean, even before my mother transitioned, I was helping to pay the bills. It was just like taking a step up. Yes, the house was paid for, but you still got insurance and personal property taxes. And those things still hit hard. The one thing I had going for me is that I had paid the car off. So I didn't have a car payment. So I was able to transfer that money over into taking care of the house. We did have a washing machine and a dryer. So we didn't have the expenses of going to a laundromat that would have cost us twice as much. But you still got to purchase the the detergent, the fabric softener, the bleach. If you use bleach, you have to do all of that. You have to buy the things to keep those machines clean and functionable as well. It's not just keep using, keep using, keep using. You have the solution where you have to keep your washing machine cleaned out. You have to remove that duct every now and then and vacuum it out real good so that your dryer doesn't cause a fire. And but there are lots of things that it's not free to live, period. And a lot of people don't understand that. They don't take into consideration that it's not that easy for a whole lot of people. And over since the pandemic in 2020, a lot of people that didn't feel it before are definitely feeling it now, and they're understanding what they didn't understand before. But there is still that handful that have not experienced it and feel that, oh, well, this should be easy. If you put your nose to the grind, or if you, no, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. We are on a program right now where two-thirds of our rent is paid at the beginning of the month. The other third is paid during the second half of the month. My daughter was just let go from Amazon. Nothing she did. It's just that the company she was working for got sued. So they went bankrupt. And everybody that worked for them lost their job. Fortunately, she had a second job. They've increased her hours, but it's at a convenience store, guys. It's that if right now they decided to take my disability away from me, there is no way. There's no way. There's no way. And with her working at Amazon, Murphy's, and my disability, we were barely making ends meet anyway. So, do I get stressed out? Yes. Does my anxiety kick in? Do I have panic attacks? Yes. Yes. Tomorrow is always questionable to me. And it's not that we're not trying. We go broke it. I just got my whoo, Lord. I just got my December disability yesterday and had to kick the whole check out to cover the rent, to cover the two-thirds of the rent. I still have um the internet to pay. We still have the um, electric to pay. We still have the water to pay. We still have the washing machine rental to pay. Oh, and I guess we're not supposed to eat, right? Right? My daughter was just gifted a car. She was able to drive it for 2 days, and it's not working anymore. The guy came to look at it yesterday and replaced the part that the seller told her needed to be replaced. So she kicked out that $75 only for the car still not to start. Yeah. So it's unrealistic. My heart does go out to those people who are homeless. There's a man around the corner right now that sleeps in front of Aldi's, and his situation is that he was a veteran, and well, he is a veteran, and he did not come back home the same way he left. And instead of his family trying to help him, they all turned their back on him. They all turned their backs on him, and he sleeps on the sidewalk now. I used to see him get up every morning and gather rainwater in buckets, and that's how he would wash his clothes and hang them out on the guardrail that's around Aldi's. And now he is getting around on a walker. He can't ride his bike. He uses his bike as shelter. And it's he can't make it to one of those facilities. He couldn't make it before. Now that he's on the walker, there's no way. I guess he could get up like 8 o'clock this morning and try to get there. All of them are like on the outskirts of town. And then you get those people that actually sleep outside these facilities to make sure they have beds the next day. So you're still in the line. No matter what time you get there, you're still in the line. So, yeah. And then a lot of what we used to have, or how I grew up, where, it was more than one generation in a household. That's how we're living now. There are three generations in my household: me, my daughter, and my grandkids. But there's no way we could survive any other way. It wouldn't be possible. Whew. Okay. So I guess y'all know what my passion is. Yes. So, guys, do I feel any better? My head is still loopy. My heart has slowed down a lot. I thank y'all. I love you all for being here. Um, and listening. I love the input. Please don't forget to go back and check the community posts. There is a poll listed there. I'm excited about doing them. I might do both of them anyway. I'm going to try to remember to give you the site to that book. The reason I can afford the book is because I play games on my phone that pay money, and I go back and forth between sending the money to PayPal and sending it to an Amazon gift card. So I have enough in my Amazon gift card. I can buy the $7.91 book. I pay for Prime every month, $6.99, so that I can have free shipping. hmm And so that, you know, um, my grandkids will have a different option to look at on TV. hmm And so a music lover will have music to listen to. hmm Yeah, so that's $6.99 not wasted. Sometimes we also pay for um, Walmart Plus. And somebody's like, well, why would you pay $100 a year? No, I am disabled and I'm a senior citizen, so I pay half that a year. And it also gives us another channel that we can look at. And I can also call and place my order or do my order online and they'll bring it to me. No charge. I don't have to worry about most of the time. Yes, I will ride my scooter over there 3, 4 times if I have to. Do we get assistance? If you call if you call $80 a month in food stamp assistance, I'm not knocking it. Don't get me wrong. But they did take a large portion of it away. And now we have $80 to feed us for a month. The average healthy kid can eat that in a week. And I'm not talking about overeating. I'm talking about real fruits and vegetables and 4 course meals and, you know, eating healthy. And that's the other thing. If we eat healthy like we're supposed to, that little $82 that I get will not even last a few days because I wouldn't be able to make it past the produce section. And then you're talking about stuff that doesn't last more than a couple of days. And I love salads. By the time I went and got the lettuce, the tomato, the cucumber, the onions, the peppers, what else? Did I say tomatoes? Okay, but by the time I went and got that, and then say for lunch, I wanted banana and orange. That's it. That's it. The spinach alone is $5 for the container. The lettuce is almost $2 a head. $7 for two components of the salad. Then you got the onion and you got the tomatoes. Tomatoes are $3. The onion, maybe you can get one for under $1. The bananas are stupid in price. The oranges, $5, $6 a bag. By the time you get all of this stuff, then you look at the fact that you just spent $30 on something that's only going to last you for 2 or 3 days. And you go back and do it again. And Your food stamps are gone. So what are you supposed to do for the rest of the month when all of your money is going towards keeping a roof over your head? But I guess we asked for this, right? Okay. So, a little bit of passion for you. All right. So, guys, I will see you all back here on Saturday. It's okay, Gail. It's fine. Thank you for being here. I am so glad to see you. I really am. All we were talking about is why I make blankets and give them away to the homeless because I was once homeless. And then I went into the rant of how people, become homeless. And Joan and I were talking about the fact that some people don't really understand. They think it's a choice. And too often it's not a choice. Too often it is not a choice. And then there are people who they're not patient, they're not understanding, and when you're out there, you do change. You're not that peaceful, sweet, loving person that you once were because you have to fight and scrape for everything. You have individuals who don't understand, who do things. One of the nastiest things I had happen to me when I was out there, I had somebody to, woo, a couple walked by. I used to go down to the beach as much as possible. A couple walked by. The guy bit into his sandwich and then he hopped and spit in it and he threw the sandwich at me and said, "If you're hungry, you'll eat it." I guess that was acceptable behavior. Really? But things like that happen. Um, they get cussed out for no reason. Um, I'm one of those. If somebody comes up and says, "Do you have $1 you can spare so I can get something to eat?" Okay, no, I will not give them money, but I will go get them something to eat if I can. And 9 times out of 10, they're more grateful for that because you probably put more into and given them more than they probably would have been able to get for themselves. Like I said, I used to go to CC's Pizza and they're all you can eat. You pay $5. You pay $5 for the pizza bar. They give you a platter and a cup. And I would go fill my cup up with a little bit of ice and the rest of it root beer. And I would go get one slice of pizza and I would cut that pizza up into 16 pieces. And about every 20 minutes or so, I would put a piece in my mouth to stretch that time out and so I wouldn't have to be outside. That's how I made that $5 work. Okay, y'all, I want to go over the Taco Tuesday challenges for this week in case anybody's interested. There is the take a whip, any whip, and finish it by next Taco Tuesday. It's Thursday, you still have time. Then there's the random act of kindness item, which we know that my blanket is going towards that. It's just make something small, just and drop it off anywhere where you think somebody will get it. And that's it doesn't have to be for the homeless. It can be your neighbor. You just drop off something at their door and walk away. Just a random act of kindness. Um, Another one is to make a snowman. And then there's start a new shawl. And then there's make a doggy sweater. So it was only 5 challenges. This week, I'm sorry, I know for sure I'm doing 2 of them. I'm not sure about the other ones. I have another one in mind to do. And so I don't know. I know I'm not gonna get all 5 done. I know I'm not even gonna push myself like that, but yeah. I know that for sure two of them are definitely getting done. And I think that one that I'm really thinking about doing, I think that one's going to get done too. Somebody kind of tugs at my heartstrings, and I might make that happen just because he's so gosh darn it cute. So, yes, 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 yes. Thank you all. Thank you all. You could hold the door open for someone. Yeah, but what this is makes. You know, what they're talking about is your craft. Like if you were a puzzle person and you put a puzzle together of a really beautiful scenery, um, and you glue it together and, drop it off at their house. They don't know it. Put it under the windshield of their car. So when they get in their car, they see this beautiful put together puzzle that they can frame and hang on their wall. Something like that. So it's a lot that we can do. That is on my list of things to do because, like I said, I hang these blankets on the fence so that the homeless can just grab them. Um, I did want to show this to you because I put her name and the pattern. This is how far I've gotten on the Sunshine Harmony. And this pattern is by our very own Marshalee, who we know is Blind Stitches. So her information is in the description box. And so those are, I think I showed you one, two, three blankets. I'm working on this one today, which I call Black Skittles. And I'm working on the purple sweater today. So those are the five things that I'm going to be working on for the next couple of days. And I finished the little cowl that I showed y'all in the beginning for Moana. I might bring her out and let her visit Saturday. I might. She has a hair matted problem. So we work on her hair every now and then to try to get it together. So it depends on how much more the hair we're able to get together. But at some point, you all will meet Moana. But you guys, I love you, each and every one of you. And I want you to always remember in your walk of life to be bold, be brave, be beautiful, and behave. Remember, Kitty Lane told you. Remember, Kitty Lane loves you. And until we see each other again on these YouTube streets, peace out, everybody.